Electric blue sky, and a blue neon sign that says blues. Thin blue ribbons of music escaping under the door. Inside, brass, gold, and amber, the time-stopping rescue of whiskey. The week before you died, you asked me how your life would add up, and if you should be quotable and brave or just go quietly. I remembered the proverb of the Persian carpet, whose pattern is only revealed when the weaver has finished, but I didn't say so. Jelly bean bug with your flared feet, your unbridled innocence kills me. To tell the truth, oh happy variation, eroticism must not be prolonged, lest it turn stale or careless. Shakespeare would shudder in his earthy sleep if metaphor replaced the common sense. I could licentiously turn sky to ocean, and we frolic like fishes without air, loving and breathing silently in blue depths, biting each other's fins, teasing our young. Well, I think it began when I couldn't play the drums, so I did that. I was always very interested in rhythm. When I was little, I used to walk around banging my knuckles on things. More sensitive parents might have picked up on that, but as it turned out, I just had to find my own way.
Well, for me, it's everything. It's the perfect expression of emotion for me. It's the ability to create something that's hard to talk about in other ways. The symbols of music work really well for me, and I prefer to use those. And it's very therapeutic. It's very therapeutic for me.
Early Wednesday morning. Nobody's kicked up any dust. Nobody's made a dime yet. All the pet dogs have left alone faces. I think about you driving home along roads as romantic as dreams, fortified by a night on the town. You probably see stars through a tangle of trees, like that picture by Georgia O'Keeffe. I think about you driving home in a downpour, when the wind, drunk with eucalyptus, hums when it hits you. On New Year's Eve, my ancestors showed up in my dreams, inexplicably, dressed for cold weather, munching root vegetables, working non-stop on the kaleidoscope of genes that eventually arranged themselves as me. Two short ones for contrast. First one. I like the way Americans walk around carrying coffee, grinning, and asking each other, "How you doing?" Second one. I have to tell you, there are times when the sun strikes me like a gong, and I remember everything, even your ears. Is this sunset occurring all over America right now? Allowing for time differences, of course. Are there women in Utah, Vermont, and Brazil who, like me, just happen to look up for a second and catch the explosion? I love it. I lived with it for a long time. I was married to somebody who made it his life, and therefore it was mine, you know. And I think I don't like to think about my world without music. I don't know how else to say it. It makes a big difference. It makes all the difference. And I like the people who play it. I'm very comfortable with them.
It's words used as symbols that mean so much more than what they do in a traditional language sense. It's really very fascinating. It opens up, just one word can open up a whole world when used in a poetic way. So I like the expansiveness of that aspect of it.
Louisianans. They're like aliens. If you cut them, music comes spurting out instead of blood. One of them told me, around here, you can drop a plate of forks and people will dance. Three little Henny Youngman poems. First one, on occasion, like everyone else, Henny Youngman consults the I Ching. He just doesn't make a big thing of it. 2. The Henny Youngman Memorial Pinwheel Shop has served Santa Monica since 1967. And the last one is Henny Youngman started out in real estate by selling family burial plots to elephants. No airs, Heirs. Like an alien at an amusement park, I'm uneasy in this bead-encrusted climate, exploring bridal gowns among the teenagers who try on tiaras and veils so knowingly. Do they mate this way too, expertly and fast, climbing over each other's limbs like wildflowers, kissing the truth out of each other's eyes? Nobody loves the snow after the first day. Today's slush was yesterday's fairy tale, and yesterday's quicksilver flakes held the essence of lilacs. Emperor penguins in a blizzard. In the photograph, the only color is the eggnog tint of their chests, creamy and thick like tempera. They're just standing around being beastly, all looking in different directions for the horizon. I don't want to brag, but I had this dream in which the great Miles Davis co-signed a loan for me. Don't ask me what it was for. The important thing is that he was wearing a red and gold plaid jacket and matching gold pants, which sounds awful, I know. But it was Miles after all, and he was helping me out, so I forgave him. It's getting easier. That's not really an answer. How do I write? I don't know. I get an idea. Could be a word, something that happens, something I see, and I kind of file it away. Or, depending on where I am and what I'm doing at the moment, start working on it right away. Sometimes on the computer, sometimes on a piece of paper. It really doesn't matter.
Well, it's usually very specific. I take an idea, a subject matter, and or title, and then I have a well, for lack of a better word, a grid that I transpose the letters of the subject and or title onto that grid and utilize that row as the composition. And I say subject or title because sometimes the title of the piece is not necessarily the subject for whatever reason. I want it there for me to be some relationship between the music in a more tangible way than just sort of an ethereal way. And I chose this as the way to do that. So I take this row and then I manipulate it in various ways. Normal compositional things would be done. You know, I transpose the row. I run it backwards. I put parts of it vertically, making chords or whatever. So that's the basis of how I do it. Every once in a while I'll do something that is based on something else musically, but by and large, for the last, I guess, 20 years now, I've done it that way.
Speaking of food as percussion, how about baby bok choy? Al fresco. Over lunch, Hannah says, in karate you meet yourself on the mat. You can't avoid it. We all stop eating. You can hear us worry in the suddenly loud sunshine. Three short Henny Youngman poems. Henny Youngman worries about the Pope. He thinks he may have something up his sleeve. The shortest Henny Youngman poem ever written on the subject of certain kinds of shoes. Clogs. Ugh. Henny Youngman's Good Old Days. Teacher, name your favorite character from Shakespeare and tell why. Henny Youngman. Falstaff. It used to be $3.99 for a 12-pack. I can't tell you how it got started, but I remember the day. I remember the first one I ever wrote. I think he's an alter ego. I think it reflects my California living experience. I came here and was very liberated in so many ways, particularly artistically, I think. And I thought, why the hell not? I can write a series about Henny Youngman, possibly inspired even by Richard Brautigan, who has a series about Baudelaire that I'd completely forgotten about until around 2 weeks ago, and I thought, oh, maybe that's what got it started. But I use Henny Youngman's voice to say things that I am embarrassed to say in my own voice. As soon as I hit the street, poems bombard me. I can't even take 2 steps without getting hit. I can comfort you in languages I didn't know I had. You might be washing dishes, sobbing. I'll hear water, a soft plink that could be silverware. Or you'll phone from the car, sad red eyes in the rain, squish of windshield wipers, just like in the movies. When somebody's dead, it's me you dial blindly, your poor fingers freezing, your voice tight as rubber. I open the door and another world greets me. Loud gossiping birds and their 12 o'clock sorrows. The dentist dreamed of lollipops that hovered like lonely teeth above the blackened street. The red light swam so gorgeously and clearly, plump hygienic roses under glass. His waking self assured him that the magic was his attempt to come to terms with art, and pristine traffic lights that stand for order are just night-blooming strawberries tonight.